Hello and welcome to the backpack construction video for the ChIMP robot. So we're using a project box which you can buy from, among other places, Amazon, and we have to modify it slightly. So you can see there are four 6mm drilled holes for 6mm bolts, and we're going to be removing some of the webbing on the back and inside this box with a bit in a Dremel. You can also use a knife or a chisel if you had to, although it would be tough. There's probably a lot of different tools you can use. And so here you can see I'm just starting. I've marked out, in the plans it shows plainly where these webs have to be removed. And it's just so that the straps and the bolts and washers can land flat. So I've marked everything out with a black magic marker on this. I'm just going to show you just for a second how this all removes really quickly. And so there, I just removed that area. And there's all the other black there, and then there's some additional work that needs to be done on the inside. So once you're done with that anyway, we need to mount the box onto the ChIMP. So you can see in this version of this box, everything's been removed. The holes have already been pre-drilled. All that is laid out in the plans. And we're going to take one of these 1 1/4 inch pipe straps and throw an M6 bolt through it, followed by a regular washer. And then we pass it through into the project box. And inside the project box, we'll be putting a large flat or fender washer, 6mm, followed by a nylock nut. And this is harder to do than it looks at first, unless you have a helper. But once you get one started and you tighten it down just a little bit, the box will hang until you can get the other top and then the two bottoms. The project box that we're using is surrounded on the outside with vinyl or rubber inserts that allow you to pop them out and put holes through them as you need in order to pass cables through. For instance, the center plug in the bottom of the box is used to pass the cable between the Arduino Mega microcontroller and the O-drive board that's below the hip. There's a couple other holes that need to be drilled in the box. You can see there's an antenna on top, and we used a simple drill bit to place a hole for that Wi-Fi antenna. Now, in the first version that you're going to be building, you're not attaching this to Wi-Fi. You'll be using an RC or radio control receiver to control the ChIMP. But later, you may want to use Wi-Fi to control the robot. And that antenna is there not just because it looks cool, but because eventually it will be attached to a Wi-Fi receiver inside the backpack. There's also a very tiny hole that you can barely see in the upper right corner in this video, that the RC receiver is actually going to have it has a very small antenna. It's just a wire, and it slides out that hole right there and sticks outside. So we're bolting up the last of the 4 strap bolts, and then we will use so the 6mm, by the way, is driven by a 4mm hex wrench, and the nuts are 10mm. So it's easy with just a very simple ratchet setup. If you don't have a ratchet, you can just hold them with pliers and just use a hex key or an Allen key on the outside to tighten them up. No big deal. You can also see the 3M mounting tape that's stuck in this particular box right now, and that's where the Arduino Mega microcontroller mount is installed that holds both the Arduino and a small breadboard that holds the Bosch IMU, inertial measurement unit, or measuring unit, in place as well. And there's a little black piece at the top that's where the RC receiver mounts as well. So there you have it.